You. Hello guys, just tell me if I'm audible. You can message on the group chat option. So, how many students are there in the class? Okay, then I will start the class. Uh, so, so today our topic is mensuration. So, first of all, I am Ketan. So, I will be teaching you some of the topics of ITMAT. So, first of all, you guys should know uh, that there will be only one question regarding mensuration in your exams. So, be ready for it. I think you all have got the notes yesterday only. I sent it to Ayusha. Uh, have you guys got it? Someone please answer on the chat box. Okay. So I will be just revising the notes once, and then we'll move forward with the questions. Okay. You can ask your doubts on the chat box only. Okay. So in mensuration, the first thing you should know is LSA and TSA. So what LSA is and what TSA is? LSA is just the outer surface of any figure, and TSA is including it above and bottom of the figure. So this is the mainly difference between lateral surface area and the total surface area. And there are figures that I have already given in this notes. Divide. You should remember the formulas wholeheartedly. It's very important as most of the questions will contain answers which can be derived just with the formula only. And please keep in mind the formula of diagonal because most of the questions have diagonal. And the next figure is cube. And again, the most important formula for the cube is diagonal. And the next figure is right circular cylinder. You must be knowing the formula of this. I'm just revising it for my own convenience. Right circular cone. This frustum is very important because the questions regarding this will only contain the formula. You just have to put the numericals in the formula and you will get the answer. This frustum thing. And pyramid. I haven't seen any questions regarding pyramid in any of the IFMAT previous year questions, and neither anywhere else. You can just view this formula and keep it in mind if this year they give you the question. And first term of a pyramid, not that much of a useful thing. This hemisphere is important. Most of the questions contains hemisphere, so you should remember the formulas. So now I will move forward with the questions. You should just okay. So the thing is, before solving any mensuration question, there are some instructions that you have to follow. The first instruction is read the last part of the question attentively. As you all know, mensuration questions can be long, and the most important thing in that question is given in the last part. So when you are reading the question of mensuration, you must remember that you read the last part very carefully and attentively. You should remember what is given in the last part of the question. Okay, the second instruction is do calculations carefully. See, calculation is one of the most important part during any mensuration question. So you should calculate very carefully. Uh, Guys, please mute yourself. I will do it. Okay, thank you. Huh. The second step was do calculations carefully. So most of the students will ask, how do we do calculations on the onboard calculations during an online exam? So the simple thing is you can put your phone parallel to the screen of the laptop if you want to do calculations with a mobile phone or with a calculator. As no, you're not allowed to use calculators as they have given the instructions. You're not allowed to use. I'm just giving a cheat to you. If you want, you can keep your phones parallel to the screen of the laptop. Even if you use the calculator, they won't get that you are using calculator. This is just a cheat for some of you if you want to follow. It's not compulsory. And the third part is be alert for any twist in the question. What does this mean? Now, mostly mensuration questions will involve formulas only, formula based questions. You put the formula, you put the numbers in it, and you get the answer. But some of them have twist in it. So you must catch that twist in the question. If you catch that twist, your answer will be very easily derived. And the fourth part is be cautious of the units given in the question. In some of the questions, they can just change the units to confuse the children. So you must be careful with the units involved in the question. And the last instruction would be remember all the formulas wholeheartedly. This is must. So if you want to do any question of the mensuration, you must remember all the formulas involved in it. I have given the notes and in it almost every important figure that you need for this exam is given. So I have given this image where there are units and how to convert in them. I will be sharing this PDF later, so you can refer it. Okay, so these were all the instructions for doing a mensuration question, and you will only get one mensuration question in your exam. So be careful with it. So I'll proceed now with the questions or type of questions that you will get in the exam. So this is the first question. Just read it. I will give you 1 minute to just read it, and I will be giving the solution and how to solve it and how to proceed the question with easy steps. So just read it for 1 minute. Uh, Please, this question involves three parts. You just have to read 23. It's, the screen is green.
केतन वो स्क्रीन पर कुछ
Not
ग्रीन आ
visible.
रहा है सो आई गेस देयर इज अ नेटवर्क इशू ओवर देयर
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. What's happening? Stop sharing. Uh, is it visible now?
या इट्स विजिबल
Okay. Thank you guys for telling me. So now you can read the question. And sorry for the inconvenience. I think you guys should draw the diagram in your notebooks for reference. It will be easy to understand the solution. Have you guys read the question? Uh, you can answer in the chat box so that I can know. Okay, then I will proceed to the answer and I will tell you how to proceed the question. See how to proceed with the questions that are very complicated figures though. So the first thing is for all of you is make the diagram easy so that you can. So the first thing is internet connections. Guys, am I audible? Guys, yes, okay. So the first thing is that you have to do is to simplify the diagram. Just in this question only, you have a diagram, very complicated one with too many shapes. So the first thing is that you guys have to do is simplify the diagram. So when you simplify the diagram, you will know what to do. These are the three questions that you have to do. What is the area of the region 1? What is the area of the region 2? And what is the area of the region 3? So as you can see, these are the regions given. So first step would be calculating the diagonal of the square inscribed in the circle so that you can calculate the radius of the circle. Okay, and you can now see the solution. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is to calculate the radius of the circle. You calculate the radius of the circle, then you can calculate the area of the circle. And see, I know the most confusing part for all of you would be calculating the second area. How are you going to calculate the second? So this is very simple, that how are you going to calculate it? And the answer is given like this. Area of region 2. Area of the circle minus area of the square divided by 4. See, this was a simple trick. You can proceed. We know that all the segments that are given in the circle will be equal. So what we did is we just subtracted the area of the square from the circle and divided it by 4 to calculate the area of one segment. So we have calculated the area of region 2. Now we know what is the area of the half semicircle of the region 1. See, we have now calculated the second area. Now our task is to calculate the area of 1. So how can we do it? We just have to subtract the area 2 from the semicircle BC. So here are all the answers. Area of region 3, area of region 1 is equal to area of semicircle AD minus area of semicircle 2. We have calculated the area of region 2 prior only, and we just have to subtract it. Okay, so this is how we proceed with the questions, which involves very complex figures. The step is you simplify the diagram, calculate each thing that is asked in the question, because this question involves three questions, so you will be getting a minimum of 3 minutes to solve this question. Okay, uh, is there any problem? You can ask on the chat box if you didn't understand any part of the question, or should I repeat the solution again? uh, okay, so from which part do you want me to explain again? Region 2 or okay, then okay, I will explain again. Okay, okay. See, so this was the figure given to you guys. First of all, this figure is very complex. Most of you would get confused seeing this figure. So the first thing we do it is we simplify the figure. So this is how you simplify the figure. We just have a circle in which a square is embedded. So the first step is you calculate the diagonal of the square so as to calculate the radius of the circle. And you all know the formula of diagonal of a square. You guys know now. If someone knows, can write it in the chat box. I want to see if you guys know what is the diagonal of a square. A root 2, huh? Yeah, it's a root 2. So with this process, you can calculate the radius of the circle. This was just the starting of the question. So what we have to do is area of region 2. So first of all, we get what is the region 2. Region 2 is this area. You can see it in the figure. So how do we calculate it? This is a very simple process. We calculate it by subtracting the area of the square from the circle and dividing it by 4. As we all know that the segments are equal by seeing the figure also, and there are properties of circle and square. Okay, so with this process, we can calculate the area too. So, and calculate the other areas are simple. You can calculate it. The most important part of this question was calculating the area of region 2. And you all will be getting this PDF later. So if you guys have any doubts in it, you can mail me. I will give you the mail ID at the end of the class. So this was the first question, and I will move forward with the. Sorry. Did you guys understand now? How do we proceed with the question which involves a very complex figure? Yes. Okay. So this is the second question. This question is very common in competitive exams, and there are many questions related to this only. So just read this question and I will show you the solution later. Formula of okay, Shia, thank you. Okay, huh. So guys, please read this question now. You have 1 minute to read this question. You guys can also solve this question if you want on your textbooks. If any of you gets the answer, can also type the answer on the chat. Okay, then let's proceed to the solution now. See, the first thing of this question was to draw a triangle from the center of the circles. This was the first step in this question, and whosoever gets this first step, hopefully will get the answer also. Okay, so I already told you the first step is to make a triangle in the question, following by the center of the circles. So after drawing the circle, your first task is to calculate the area of the sector. And the sector is this: if you emerge a circle from that figure, you will get a circle like this. I have drawn it on the right hand side. You can see. So the first step is calculate the area of the sector. So we have a formula to calculate the area of circle. I have written it here. The area of sector is equal to theta upon 360 multiplied by pi r square. Okay, huh? Yeah, Sihat, that's the answer. Nice one. Okay, huh? So we can calculate the area of circle, but most of you would be thinking, what are the angles of the triangle? So that thing is also easy. Triangle ABC is equilateral. And how can I say so? I can say so because the radius of the circles are equal, and so every radius is 1 centimeter. So what is the length of AB? AB has length 2 centimeter, AC has length 2 centimeter, BC has length 2 centimeter. Therefore, the triangle is equilateral. Okay, so equilateral has triangles angle 60 degree. So we can calculate the sector now. Area of the sector is 1 by 6 pi. So as Yad said, we can calculate the answer by area of triangle minus 3 sectors. So, so you should all know the area of the equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 into side square. So we can calculate the area of equilateral triangle with this formula, and we can calculate the answer of the question as follows: area of the triangle minus area of the three sectors, root 3 minus 1 by 2 pi, and you have to calculate your answer as followed in the options of the question. See, the answer I got was root 3 minus 1 by 2 pi. Okay, but I don't have any options relating to that answer. So I have to calculate the answer which is given in the MCQ. So what I have done is I have taken the LCM and I have got an answer 2 root 3 minus pi upon 2. And I have this option in the MCQ. So this is how you calculate these types of questions. Okay. Anyone has any doubt can ask on the chat box. I will repeat the answer again. So all of you understood this question. This is one of the most important questions because you need to know the trick to solve this question. Uh, so okay, so no one wants me to repeat the solution. That's good for me only. Okay, so I'll move forward with the third question. So I have taken out this question from your sample paper of IFMAT 2020. So what you can guys do, all guys can do is draw this diagram on your textbooks and start solving the question. This is pretty easy questions, and and you will get these types of question only in your exams, which is the you find out the area of the shaded region. Most of the questions were like these only. I'll give you guys 1 minute to read the question. Sorry. Uh, Good one, Nisha. That's the answer. So I think I should move forward with the solution. You can read this part also. What is the ratio of the area of circle M and the area of circle K? No, uh, why Z? Please read the question again. uh, M and K. Yeah, B. It's the answer is B. And Nakulesh also. Yeah, the answer is B. This was pretty easy question. I just involved it because it was given in your sample 2020. So this is how you calculate the answer. First of all, you calculate the area of the circle, the bigger one that is K, that is pi r square. H is just for it's just a variable. You can omit it. There's no problem. So you first calculate the area of circle K, that is 225 pi. Then you'll calculate the area of the smaller ones. That is also easy. And now you get the area of the shaded region, which you can calculate by area of the circle K minus sum of the circle L plus M. So you guys have got the answer 112.55. That was correct. And the ratio also. Just be careful with the calculations. Anyone who needs me to explain the solution again? Me. Okay. Okay. There is someone. I will explain the question again. Okay. So here, so the figure given here is three circles. There are two circles which are inscribed in the bigger one. So the question is, what is the area of the shaded region? So the first thing is you have to calculate the area of the bigger circle, and we know the diameter of the bigger circle is 30. So the radius of the circle, bigger circle, that is K, is 15. So we can calculate the area of the bigger circle. We all know the area of a circle is pi r square. We can calculate it, and then we will calculate the area of the smaller ones. And to solve the answer, we can calculate it by area of circle K minus sum of circle L plus M. And the next part was to calculate the ratio of the circle K is to circle M. So we already have the area, we just have to divide it. So what we get is 1 is to 4. That's how we solve this question, and it was pretty easy. And now I'll move forward with this question. Sorry, I can't move it forward as I have written the solutions. And this one is pretty, I don't say difficult, it's quite interesting though. You can try it. I will give you the time. 2 minutes for this question. Anyone who gets the answer, please answer it on the chat. You guys are able to see the question now? Okay, so I'll start with the solution. So the question says 4 centimeter of rain has fallen on a square kilometer of land. Assuming that 60% of the raindrops could have been collected and contained in a pool having 200 meter into 20-meter base, by what level would the water level in the pool have increased? So I'll move forward with the solution. So I have written the solution in the form of steps so that it would be easy for you guys to understand. Okay. So first of all, what you guys can say is the unit of the land is given in is kilometer, and the unit of the base given is in meters. So our first step would be convert the units into a uniform unit. Calculate kilometer, convert kilometer into meters. Then only you can get the correct answer. Here, meter is the appropriate unit. Now, the second step of this question, which we have to take, is calculate the volume of the water which had fallen on the land. So we have the height, that is 4 centimeter, and we have the base, that is given a square kilometer of land. So we can calculate. Uh, so we can calculate the volume of water on the land by calculating the area of the land, that is 1000 to 1000, and then we calculate the volume, that is 1000 to 1000, and we have units of the rain in centimeters, so we convert it into meters, therefore 4 upon 100. This was the second step. And the third step, you should read what the question is asking. The question said that 60% of the raindrops could have been collected, only 60%. So what we have to do is we have to calculate only 60% of the volume. So what we do is only 60% of the water is collected and contained in a box. We just divide it by 60 by 100. So this was the third step. And the fourth step is just equating the volume of the land and the volume of the pool so that we can get the height of the pool. So this is the step 4. Equate the volume of the land to the volume of the pool. So this is the simple calculation and you can calculate it. Please repeat the second step. Okay. I knew it. Some of see, read the question. Yeah, I'm telling. The second step. Read the first part of the question. That is, 4 centimeter of rain has fallen on a square kilometer of land. So, what was the first step? Convert the units into a uniform unit. So, what we have here is 4 centimeter. So, our first step should be cal- convert the unit into a uniform unit, and the unit which we have taken uniform is meter. So, calculate centimeter into meter. That's okay. And I will read 4 centimeter rain has fallen on a square kilometer of land. This part of the question, square kilometer of land. R square. R square means 1 kilometer. This is the base of the land on which the rain is falling. So this is the second step, volume of the water on the land. We already have been given on a square kilometer of land. So area of the land is square kilometer. We have converted kilometer into meters. Therefore, 1000 into 1000. And we calculate the volume by multiplying it by height. That was 4 centimeter. And so the formula of the volume is length into breadth into height. We have length and breadth, that is 1000, and the height we get is the amount of rain that has fallen, that is 4 centimeter. So we first convert it into meters, that is 4 by 100, and we calculate the volume. That's why we multiply 4 by 100 in the step 2. So did you get the second step, Snehashish? Okay. So any more doubts you can ask me. I'll repeat the answer again. I don't have any problem. Is 6 the answer? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 6 is the answer. So all of you got the solution. Okay, how you got the height? Height of what, Abhiyas? The height of the land or the height of the pool? Which height you are talking about? Pool. Okay. So how do we get the height of the pool? So read the question again. Assuming that 60% of the rain drops could have been collected and contained in a pool. So what we are doing here is we are collecting 60% of the rain that has been accumulated on the land, and we contain it in a pool which has a base of 200 into 20. So we have to think is whatever water we are containing in the pool is the volume of the water, and the volume of the pool should be equal. So that was the first step. Equate the volume of the land to the volume of the pool. We have calculated the volume of the land beforehand only. So now we can calculate the height of the pool by equating it. We already knew the volume of the land, and now what we are doing is we have taken a variable. Let it be a. In this you can take h also. There's no problem in it. So what we are doing is 200 into 20 into a, which is the volume of the pool, equal to volume of the land, and we are just calculating it. We get a is equal to 6 meter. Here the 6 meter is the height of the pool. Yes, did you get what I said right now, or should I repeat it again? Yes, yes. Okay. So all of you got the solution now. This is also one of the important questions. You will be getting these types of question in your exams or competitive exams more often though. Okay, then I will move forward with the next question. And this one is one of the most important questions. Let's see who can solve it. Okay, so here is the question. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to solve this question. And hopefully, some of you can solve this one. So, is anyone trying this question, or I should move forward with the answer? Is anyone trying? Uh, no, it's not C. You should try again. So, there are people who are trying. Okay, I'll wait for 2 more minutes for you guys and try. One suggestion: don't overdo calculations in this question. No, it's not B. You should try again. I have given a suggestion: don't overdo calculations. At least now you can guys guess the answer. Yeah, two are already wrong. You have only two options left or three. It's D. Yeah, real. It's D. The answer is D. Yes. Someone has already got the answer. Yeah. Okay. 2 minutes is over, and I think I should move forward with the solution now. Okay, then I will be moving with the solution. Okay. Sorry, I have not written steps here. I will be explaining the steps to you all guys. Okay. So the first part of the question was a solid metal cylinder of 10 centimeter height and 14 centimeter diameter is melted and recasted into two cones in proportion of 3 is to 4 volume wise. Okay. So what can you interpret with this line of the question? We can interpret it as that 7 is the ratio of the whole cylinder and 3 is to 4 is the ratio of the cones. I have solved this question with the ratios because there is almost no calculations involved doing it by ratio. So this is also one of the tricks to solve mensuration questions by using ratios so as to avoid calculations and calculation mistakes. And how I did it is the question already said 3 is to 4. So I can interpret as the whole cylinder is 7 and the cones are in the ratio of 3 is to 4. That's why I have written it as 7 is to 3 is to 4. Okay. I already know that volume of the cylinder is that I have taken V1 is pi r square H. Volume of the two which I have taken is the volume of the cone, that is 1 by 3 pi r1 square H is to 1 by 3 pi r square H. These are only the volume of the cones is equal to 7 is to 3 is to 4. Please be attentive in this part of the question because this is the most important part. So I have cut the common in the ratios, that was pi and h. So what I get is r square is to 1 by 3 r1 square is to 1 by 3 r2 square is equal to 7 is to 3 is to 4. So now what I have done is I have just cross multiplied the threes with their respective ratios. That is r square is 7, but r1 square is 3 into 3 9, r2 square is 4 into 3 12. If you get any doubts during this explanation, please ask in the chat box. I will repeat it again. Okay, because this is a really important question because it makes calculation easy. Okay, so with this process, we get r square is to r1 square is to r2 square is equal to 7 is to 9 is to 12. Okay, so the second part of the question is what would be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? So first of all, what do you mean by the flat surface area? The flat surface area, the thing which is flat, it's the bottom and the top in case of a cylinder and bottom only in case of a cone. So this is what you mean by top flat surface area. The top and the bottom for cylinder and only the bottom for the cone. Okay. And that's the area of the circle only for both of them. Flat surface area is equal to pi r square in case of cylinder and cone. So now what I have done is I have changed the ratio into numbers. And how do we do it? We do it by adding variables to the ratios. What I have done is r square is equal to 7k, r1 square is equal to 9k, r2 square is equal to 12k. See, you don't have to do this long in the exams. You just have to write roughly and calculate the answer. I have just written it for your ease. Okay, so now we move to the ratio of the flat surface area. That is cylinder is to two cones. That's what asked in the question. Now, what would be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? Before the flat surface was the flat surface of the cylinder, and after the flat surface were the flat surfaces of the cones. That is why I have taken the ratio of cylinder is to two cones. So how do we do it? I know the flat surface area of the cylinder is the area of the circles of the bottom and the top. So that's why I have written is 2 into pi r square is to the area of the two cones of the circles, that is pi r1 square plus r2 square. As it is ratio, I have cut the common parts, that was pi and k. You can cut k, it's your wish only. Okay, so I get the ratio. 14k is the surface flat surface area of the cylinder and 21k is the flat surface area of the two cones. So here I got the answer after doing all these steps from top to here. What would be the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after? And here I calculated. Percentage change is equal to 21K minus 14K upon 14K into 100. 14K is the older top surface area of the cylinder, and 21K is the top surface area of the cone. And see how simple it was to calculate it 50% without any calculations. I will repeat the answer again. I know it was just confusing. So, any of you understood this method to solve the question? Any of you? Yes. Okay. I will repeat the. Okay. I will repeat it again for those who didn't get it. Okay. The first thing is we read the first part of the question that is saying a solid metal cylinder of 10 centimeter height and 14 centimeter diameter is melted and recast into two cones of proportion of 3 is to 4 volume, keeping the height 10 centimeter. So reading and interpreting this question, I get that the volume of the cylinder is 7 is to volume of the two cones, that is 3 is to 4. This is the ratio that I get from the first part of the question. So now what I have done is nothing. I have just written the areas of the V1, V2 and V3. V1 is the area of the cylinder. V2 and V3 are the areas of the cones. So I have written the areas, simplified it by cutting the common terms. That was h. It is given in the question that the height is 10 centimeter for both cylinder and cone. Therefore, h is common and pi is common. And the next part is I have cross multiplied all the numbers in the left side to the right side to get a very simple ratio. That is r square is to r1 square is to r2 square is equal to 7 is to 9 is to 12. And why I did this is because the last part of the question is saying that I have to calculate the percentage change in the flat surface area before and after. So first of all, we should know what is a flat surface area. A flat surface area is the flat surface in the figure. For cylinder, the flat surfaces are the top and bottom. So we have two surface areas in flat surface area in cylinder, and for the cone, we only have the bottom. We already only have one flat surface, that is the circle on the bottom of the cone. So the area of the flat surface would be pi r square. That is area of the circle. So what I have done is I have converted the ratios into numbers that we can do by multiplying it with a variable. So r square is 7k, r1 square is 9k, r2 square is 12k. So ratio of the flat surface area. So what do we have to calculate it? We have to calculate the percentage change of the earlier flat surface and the later flat surface. So we know that the earlier flat surface is the cylinder and the later flat surfaces are the flat surfaces of the two cones. That's why I have taken it as the ratio of cylinder is to two cones. So what I have taken is I have taken the area of the two circles of the cylinder, that is 2 into pi into r square is to pi r1 square. I have taken, I have just taken the common of the two circles of the cones. This is not any formula, just I have taken the common. Don't get confused. Okay, now I have done the simplifications, and after simplifying, what I get is 14k is to 21k. This is the ratio of the flat surface of the cylinder and the two cones, that is earlier flat surface area and the later flat surface area. So what now I have, after question, please let me know who is this xyz. YYZ. So according to the question, what you have to calculate is percentage change in the flat surface area before and after. So now we have the ratio of the later part and the earlier part. So what we have to do is we just have to calculate the percentage, and we can do it just simply 21k minus 14k. Take 14k down because this is the earlier part of the question into 100, and we get this answer, that is 50%. Any part that you didn't get, please ask in the chat box, because this method you are going to use in many questions during the competitive exams now in the later period of your life. Okay. Anyone who didn't get it, any step, I will repeat it again. This is very important. Okay, so everyone got this part now. Okay, so these were all the five questions that were important that comes in the exam. There are many more, but these are the most five basic and the most asked question during any competitive exams. So that was all. I will be sharing assignment to all of you later and read these instructions before going. These instructions are important. Okay, please remember these instructions before solving any question of the mensuration. So anyone who wants to ask any question or has any doubt regarding this topic can ask me now. We are free. Yeah, that was all for the class. I've discussed five questions. I've given you the notes and I will be sharing the assignments later. So any doubts or anything you want to ask me, anything, any tips, tricks you want to ask, I can suggest you if I know. And you guys are free to go. Yes, I will be providing these PDF to you guys. So that was all. If you guys want to leave, you can leave. Can we use a sheet of paper for the online? No, Nisha, you can't use a sheet of paper during an online test because they will be seeing your posture in which you are sitting, your eye contacts, and many more things. So I won't suggest you using a paper because that will change your posture. What I can suggest is this is just only a cheat. If you want, you can try it. You can keep your mobile phones parallel to the screen of the laptop, and you can use calculator if you want because this way your eyes will be like you are seeing the screen of the laptop, not using anything. So this is the only. Don't keep your phones on the keyboard. Your head will be down using it. Keep it parallel to the screens. That's the only cheat or advice I can give you. Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Ah, you guys are free to go if you want. I will be signing out in 2 minutes at 8. So mensuration is all about formula game, right? Yeah, mensuration is all about formula and some tricks that I have told you guys that how to disfigure a very complex figure or the ratio option. Yeah, mainly it is all about the formula. Okay then. Bye bye guys. Sorry, yeah, everyone.